Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is September 30th, 2018. I am home. Got home last night. It was a little after 10 o'clock last night, and there's one of the puppies. There's Miss Pandora. She's getting very big. And there's Mr. Caesar. And there is Miss Heather. And there's Mr. Edward.
Hi.
So show me your Alien Area 51 shirt first, Bob.
You guys, look at this. It's whack.
And it's got all the little aliens on it.
My people.
Exactly, pretty cool. And then you got your Grand Canyon shirt, show them that one. There you go, Grand Canyon National Park, very nice. Okay, Heather.
Yeah.
Heather also wanted an alien shirt. All right, Eddie, goodbye.
Bye.
And we got the drug rug. That's what they call these.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew that was going to keep you warm.
Since I'm like anemic and super cold.
Oh, she's always cold. So then it's got a hood. Show them the hood on there, too. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw that for her. I knew she would like that because that would keep her warmer.
And
And then she's got her Grand Canyon National Park shirt.
I like the big shirts because I like to tuck them into my pants.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
And I won't abandon you right away like Eddie did.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think Heather missed her dad just a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I was like sick the entire time you were gone.
I know, she didn't feel well for like the whole time. Hey! Get out of there. You know better. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so I am home. I'm going to kick this around. Since obviously I've been gone, the leaves are really starting to change. So I'm going to just kind of slowly pan this. And we actually over here, if you want to take a look, we have a lot of leaves on the ground. So we had two issues. I get home last night. Well, one of the issues happened just before I got home. So my daughter says to me, she says, Dad, we just got done taking showers and the water was brown and the pump won't shut off. And I'm like, oh boy. I said, okay, I know exactly what the problem is. Turn off the water and don't use it. I said, I'm going to be home tomorrow. I'll deal with it then. So the problem was, and we'll walk over here real quick. Before I left, I had pulled the cover off of my storage tank and it was down to about a half a tank of water. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to fill this up before I leave. And I completely forgot because I had 800 million other things on my mind. We plug it in here. I actually have it plugged in there right now. This is the line for the well pump. So we just plug it into an extension cord, and then that we just turn the generator on, and that gets that started. This time of year, I actually had to use, just leave it on probably about 25-30 minutes to fill up that tank. So I filled up that tank last night, but the problem was the pump up in the loft was to pump the water into the house. It had run dry, so it had to be retaken care of. So I actually had to call Joel, the plumber, and he'd come up and he had to mess around. He was up there for a little while getting things squared away, but he was freaking awesome. So here it is. It's a Sunday. I call this guy. He's my plumber. His name's Joel. And, he's the one to put this system in for me. And, I told him what had happened and stuff like that. And he said, okay. He says, I'm going to come over today. And I said, that'd be great. So he came over, took care of it. And I said to him, I go, Joel, how much do I owe you for that? And he says, how's 20 bucks? 20 bucks. That's all he charged me to take care of that. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for more with that. I mean, that was awesome. So he took care of that, so that's now working. The other issue we had, the generator was not charging the batteries. So I called my friend Brian, who put that in for me and wired that up. And he lives about an hour away. So he had come up, and he did bring a few other things because, as you guys know, the camper over there is his. And he brought some more things up to put in the camper as well. But he came up, and basically what it was, when you were flipping it over to the 240 to run the batteries, to run the inverter, or the charge control, the inverter, I'm sorry, that you have to have it at 240 and not at 120. It was not working. So he messed around with it. Literally took him 5 minutes, and he had it running again and working. So And I was like, God, I feel awful that you drove all this way, you know. And he was like, no, it's no problem at all, you know. So thank you again. So I'm going to say thank you to Joel. Thank you to Brian for coming out and getting things that were kind of messed up. And it just, hey, get out of there. Sorry, guys. Dogs were getting into the burn pile. So anyhow, so that had to be taken care of. Now, while I was gone, one of the kittens was adopted out, and today, actually, Brian took one of the other kittens. So we are down to 3 kittens, and I think of the 3, we're definitely keeping 2. Probably so, yes. Miss Molly was just fixed this last week, and the puppies are actually going tomorrow morning. I have to take them to the vet, and they're both getting fixed tomorrow. So, going to be a little busy with other stuff, but I'm so glad to be home. I'm going to show you the garden. They basically, you know, Mom and the kids took everything out because everything had basically died. The peppers are actually still producing. You can see peppers right there. There's a couple right there. There's a couple of peppers right there, almost ready to get picked. So the peppers are still coming. Great plants. We haven't had a frost up here yet. The tomatoes are pretty much done. I just got to pull these plants out in the tomato cages and stuff like that. I'll pull this fence out of the center here and take the rebar out of there, and so that'll be out of there. So, but yeah, so garden's pretty much done. The neighbor, actually, while I was gone, Chris, she ended up taking a bunch of our tomatoes and she made sauce. So we have, how many was it, 6 jars of sauce, honey? Something like that. It's like 6 jars of sauce. So, oh yeah, so when I was
In San Francisco.
well, no, this wasn't in San Francisco. This was in San Simeon, which was right on the ocean, on the west coast. And I was walking ashore, and I pulled like 3 or 4 stones up, and I took a picture, and I said, Heather, would you like some stones? And she said, yes, please. So I told her I would get up early the next morning and walk the beach and see what else I could find for her. So those are the stones that I had picked up
And
for
some
her.
shells.
There's a couple, 3 shells in there. And that's what I had picked up for her off the, the beach. So they were pretty cool looking stones. And so, yep, I got those for her. And yep, that was part of.
Saw those on my counter. I figured, or my desk. I figured
Yes.
I want to show
Yep.
YouTube these.
Yes. So those were the stones.
That one.
What's that?
Like that one with the black one.
Yeah, this pic came up. There was some really cool stuff. Yeah, and I was like, I had like a whole handful of stuff, and one of the other guys that was, he was up every day. In Mike, he was up every day and walking and doing stuff like that too. So he was on the beach. So him and I were walking on the beach together and just BSing the whole time. And very, very cool guy. He was married for like 40 years, and him and his wife went their separate ways, and he has grown sons. And he said, he goes, like a lot of it, like these guys were all coming from the UK, and he came on this trip and he didn't know anybody, and he just came and did it. And he said, I absolutely love it. He did Route 66 last year, and he signed up again and came this year, and he had a really, really good time. They really had a lot of fun, and it was really enjoyable. So I'm happy they really, really liked it. The one gentleman came over. He was actually a year younger than me, and his daughter came with him, and she had ridden with him before a few times, but nothing like we did on this trip. We probably did 1,400 miles in 6 days on the second leg. We did the same thing on the first leg. It was 6 days, and it was about 1,400 miles. So it's a lot of driving, but they just had a blast. And I told him, I said, I think that's awesome that your daughter would want to do this with you and spend time with you. He said, I'll tell you how much she wanted to do it. He goes, she put 1,000 pounds, which obviously is British, which is more than $1,000 American, of her own money into it, gave it to her dad for this trip. And that goes a lot for character. It goes for me a lot for how he raised his child. And I told him that too. I mean, I said, you can definitely tell. And she was a nice kid. She's 19. And you know, they were just really, really nice people. Everybody, the group of the first guys were awesome, and you know, the second group was also awesome as well. And but we had a really, you know, it was enjoyable. Some long freaking days, I can tell you that. And I would try to get the videos up in the hotel, and there was a couple hotels where the Wi-Fi was just absolute garbage, and so I couldn't get the videos up. So. But anyway, I am home, so we're going to get back to normal stuff. There's some things that I got to do. Today, I did start the fire today. It was 46 degrees here today, and we did have rain, so it was a little chilly. You can't really see it now, but the wood stove is going. And but yeah, so we're going to get back to some things here we got to get done now. You know, I'm going to be getting paid for this trip, and once I get that money in, then I'm going to get going on some things. So, and I will share all that with you guys. You'll see everything every step of the way. So I'm pretty excited. Like I said, I'm glad to be home. It's a long 18 days. I was gone for 18 days, from the 11th to the 29th. So very happy to be home. Good traveling. That went without a hitch. No problems with the traveling at all. So I'm back, guys. Sorry to be vague, but here's the thing. And you know, there's people out there that don't like me very much, and you know, we all have our trolls out here in YouTube land, and I really didn't want to advertise that I was going to be out of town for that reason. There's no other reason. You know, I just didn't want to advertise that I was not going to be around. My mom was here the entire time with the kids, so they weren't left alone, obviously. Not at 16. So, but anyway, so that's that. And you know, but like I said, I'm happy to be home, and gonna get some things done, and hopefully make some more progress before winter gets here, and it will not be long. So I went from 100 degrees yesterday and got home last night, and it was 50. So definitely a big difference. But like I said, I'm happy to be home, and so that's it. And anyway, I'm going to jump off here for now and get this video up for you guys, and we'll continue on with normal videos from here on out, okay? So remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember, guys, STD, it's so important. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. And that's realistically, it is so true, okay? So that's important to remember that. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.